That's one. Hello. Testing one, two, three. 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 Testing. Testing one, two, three. Testing. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three.
Kan ya, tekan. Tes, 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 tes. Baru dapat detect. Apa? You kan? Okay, thank you. We start now. I just make some announcement. Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome back to our lab. And I have one announcement for the tomorrow program, where so you need to copy this data to your laptop in case you want to follow the tutorial by Prof. Adrian tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So I will pass you this pen drive. So maybe like each team, you can just get a copy in your laptop first, and then pass to the other team. Is it okay? Yeah, we try to settle the data transfer by this evening. Okay, that's. Yeah. So this is the swivel. So if you move around, so it will follow you. So maybe you just carry and you can carry or you just sit here and.
I will sit.
Okay.
I will sit.
No.
I think it will be better. Can I start? I hope. Okay. I don't see you, but I can see the slides. It's enough that I take my glasses. At first, welcome once more. I think maybe everyone knows me. I'm from Sains University Technology from Poland. And my typical topics is management, safety management, and crisis management. And when I prepare this presentation, when I prepare this topic is the subject of our curriculum. That's why we prepare this topic. I think what I want to show, because you know the topic is so wide, and I can prepare a lot of materials, a lot of parts of this topics. And I read the proposal of our project and read your proposition in a few curriculum. That's why I would like to prepare only a few methods for count threats and count risk, because threats you can count. I hope I do well, and this content, it will be a little interesting for you. At first, in Poland and in England, especially in Poland, we have the problem. Can I sit? Because I'm so small, and maybe you have heard only voice without a person, but if it's not problem for you, okay, it will be automatic presentation when I sit, like automatic car when I driving car. Okay. In Poland, we have the In Poland, we have the problem with these two words, because in Poland we have only one word. It is in Polish bezpieczeństwo. And when we talk about security and we talk about safety, we describe only one word. But in English, we have the two meaning. The safety is with human. We feel safety. It is the statement. It is the state. But security, it is the all mechanisms, all our actions, which we have to do for safety. And I don't know, like in your languages, because maybe you have the same situation like in Poland. And when we write or when we have to read some papers, we have to think about bezpieczeństwo, about safety or security, we think. That's why it's problem with translators. And sometimes when I take some papers, I can find that sometimes we use these two words combined, and it's not the same. It is like technique and technology. In Poland, technique is technology. Technology is technique. Yeah, and it is sometimes we have the problem with our own languages. And at first we have to say what I want to say. The black is black, the white is white. Yes, it is problem. It's problem is communication. What I say about this? Because the problem is communication management is a one part of my science. And that's why maybe I'm so a little crazy for that. Okay, and security, safety. If you want security, okay. If you want safety, it's okay. And at first, when we talk about natural hazards, we especially say about security, about system securities. When we talk about system securities of floods, of earthquakes, it is a system of security. But people want to be safe. And system, sometimes we have the active security and passive security. Of course, the active security, I present all this definition based on definition in our Polish science. Maybe in you have the different definition. Active security is the feature of the system to reduce the risk. Passively, the event has already happened, was already done. Passively security, after we have it, and we have to do something. Actively, we do before. Something, mechanism, something, system, maybe communication system, a security system like attention, yeah, we prepare all mechanism, etc., before we'll have flood, earthquakes, volcano eruption, and etc., etc. And we have three definition words: hazard, threats, and risk. The last, risk, is so clear. It is easy for understanding, easy for explaining. Because the risk we can count, but hazard and threat we can't. We can say only that we have it, but we can't count it. It is like you know, because I'm from management, it is so near me because the quantity and quality, it is the questions for science. Which form of our research is better, quality or quantity? Sometimes where I prefer my not doctoral thesis, upper doctoral thesis, I have the question, I make the question to me, can I use the quantity methods in quality research? And about 15 years ago, more science in the world say no. But now they said yes, you can. You can use quantity to quality. But only 15 years, they said no. And that's why we are in new science world. It's perfect for me because I am from management school. And that's why it's fine. I can find the methods. It's like economy. Sometimes we said that economy, it's mathematics. No, it is the human. It is the human science. It's only quality science. But we use the mathematic methods to prepare something. Maybe I will say, okay, I can count. Yes, of course, money we can count. Everybody's. We can count. Sometimes better, some worse, okay, but everybody can count money. But other economics, we can count. We only, I read some phrases, some sentence that economist is the man who said, tomorrow, what is done yesterday? And yes, I think it's true. And it is the same. I'm sorry, my thinking is going so speedy, and that's why maybe I'm going too much. And that's why we said about natural hazard. Okay, it's a perfect, yes, natural hazard. But what is the hazard and threat? When we talk about risk, we talk about threats. Because the hazard is the like potential to be incident. Yeah, natural potential. Something will be. But threat is the factors which, if this factor will be, I have the hazard, maybe eruption. Yes, threat is the factors. And when we learn our students about safety work, we learn they to check the threats because they have to count the risk of place of work, for example. Yes, it's the same methods, and it is the same way to count the risk in natural hazard too. We have to know the threats, and we have to know the level of the threats, and this level is quality factor. And after that, from this quality factor, we have to count, you have to count for quantity factor like risk, it is probability. And we have to change this quantity for quality. And it is the problem. But of course we can do it. I'm clear, or I'm some confused? Yeah. Okay. Because maybe it's my English language is not so, and that's why I have the problem. The problem with communication at first, yes. The words. better will be in Polish, of course, but I think my communication in Polish will be worst for you. I can, of course, we can try, but I think it's like Chinese language for me. I am afraid. Okay. Okay, now we know what is the hazard, threats, risk, safety, security. We all, at first, we have the definition. You know what I mean, what for me means these words. Yes? And in a natural hazard, we have a lot of threats, of course. Natural hazard, the floods, strong wind, intensive snowfall. In Poland, we don't have a intensive snowfall. We have the winter without snow. I don't know, like in your country, but I saw snow only for 1 week. It is a horrible situation. I want to ski really, but I can't. Okay, the next, technical hazard and terrorism. Maybe the last, it is not together, but we have to think about natural hazard, like in natural hazard and after that technical hazard. Because when we talk about natural hazard, we think about critical infrastructure. Everybody think about not about the, because eruption under the ocean, yes, without any threats for people, for infrastructure. Okay, it's okay for us. But we talk about natural hazard with critical infrastructure together with technical hazards. It's so important for us because we think about the human. When we talk about today, when we talk about GeoDRR, we think about methods to prepare safety area, safety region for people. We talk about methods for the safer life. I think we talk about this. And that's why this natural hazard with technical hazard is together. Of course, like terrorism with technical hazards together too. Yes. You know, we have a war in Europe, and we have the problem with this war. But some of my colleagues from army said that we have this war not from this year. We have this war a few years ago, this hybrid war. And it is like cyber war, because in your country, sometimes somebody said that we have the third World War. Really, yes. Some of army from military said, because they said it's my colleagues from the top of the army, and they are from the special, of course, services. And they said that a lot of activity in the internet, in the cyber world, is now and are now, and they have minimum a few attacks a day. Not only in Poland, in all countries, in Europe, in the USA, a day, a few attacks a day. And that's why it's cybersecurity, because cybersecurity, it is so popular. You have you study in your university too, especially computing. Yes, I remember you, it's your computing, and I think it's cyber study. We need it. And because, this information can kill us. Yes, that information is the worst what we can do now. Okay. when we talk about risk, about assessing risk acceptance, we often talk about multi-level system. Especially, we take the special scale and qualitative scale to determine probability. At first, we have the quality scale. For example, bad, worse, good, so good, better. And after that, we prepare, it's very popular Likert scale. I know everybody knows this scale, Likert scale. It is when I read a lot of books, statistical books, they said, okay, you can't take the Likert scale to qualitative scale. No, now we can, but so important is, and you can do it when you this Likert scale, like worse, bad, good, very good, excellent. For example, it is the Likert, it is the qualitative scale. We said, okay, it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 point. And we can count this scale. And when we have this, the same value between, it is, I don't know, like in English, because the equal the equal value between others, and that's why we can't quality for quantity scale. But we have to say, okay, for me it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, and after that I can count. That's why we can do it. And for example, it is very popular scale for risk. It is the qualitative scale, you know, accepted risk, tolerable, conditionally, and risk non-tolerable. At first, it's perfect. Acceptable, we have only monitoring, we check it, and everything was okay. When we have acceptable, tolerable risk, we have to change something. We have to find our features which made not safety or insecurity, and okay, it is acceptable risk. And that's typical in natural hazard. We have acceptable risk, for example, where we live near volcans, yeah, but we have the cities, we have to prepare the special security system for acceptable risk and live there. Next, we have the conditionally tolerated risk. It is in the paper, they said we have to check it within 6 months. Each 6 months, we have to check. It is from paper, but of course we can say 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, okay? It is typical 6 months, and that's why I put it 6. And risk not tolerated, of course, we have to should. Not everything, but we have to should change the level of threats which intolerable. That's 4. And you should be introduce new system, new. But threats we have it. We have to change only level of threats. Yes, threats we have it. We can change the threats. Sometimes, of course, we can eliminate threats. For example, I have the old machine. Yes, and a lot of threats for this worker. And I can change for new machine with other threats. Yes, and I eliminate these threats. It's okay. I can. Yeah. Now we have new types of production. It's named cleaner production. You heard about this? Yes, it is very popular. Not clean. It is the word, not clean, cleaner production, because the clean production, it's an idea, that's all. And we have to change our thinking about production line, about production system, and eliminate pollutions during the production system. For example, yes, it is the same like in risk and trees. It's the same form of thing. And I would like to present you some, only some, so I think so popular analysis method for trees analysis. That's why the trees analysis, we can count the risk analysis. It is together. I would like to, a few words only about probability calculus, about preliminary hazard analysis, so popular analysis, failure mode and effects analysis, event tree, vote tree, Delphi methods. You know, everybody knows Delphi methods, of course, and treat mapping. It is the most popular in Poland. I don't know, like in your country. It is the methods for the treat analysis. It is the method for risk protection. At first, probability. A lot of methods from statistics. At first, we said about a priori, yes, probabilities. You know it. It is basic on mathematics methods. A posteriori probabilities. It is basic on experiences, something like that. And subjective probabilities, it is estimated basic on analysis, basic on our experiences, intuition of local science, what else? And very popular and very easy to prepare is, of course, measure of variability, because we all have the Excel and we can count measure of variability, and it is so popular in our crisis management offices. It's you don't have new information. It is so easy to explain, so easy to clear. You know it. Everybody use at first. I count measure of variability. You know it. Yes? I have one and measure. More popular is value at risk, safety level, or sensitivity measure of risk, like sensitivity measure of cost or etc. We change one feature and we show what can it have. Yes, it measure sensitivity. It is typical 3 types of probability when we can use. I would like to present 3 methods, very short, of course, only names, because I think it's very so popular method. You can use it. It is typical quality method, not quantity. It is typical quality method, because the risk, the hazard is quality. It is so important. The first method is the factor analysis, so popular. I think you know it. You heard about this. It is the method when we can find in quality describe. We have especially survey research. We ask what you think about, and they said, okay, good, bad, worse, etc., etc. And from this response for these answers, we can analyze this, we can find the area for improvement, the area for more, we can find unobserved factors. And that's why in safety, in security, especially in safety, it is so important. Because when we have, of course, observed factor, it's okay. We can easy count. But more important for us is unobserved factor. And that's why this method, factor analysis, based on this method, we can find unobserved factors, especially in safety, in security, especially in safety, especially. The second, it is, I think you heard about benchmark. It is the very new word and etc. It is the Xerox methods. They prepared this method in 80s. When they have a lot of problems with company, they prepare benchmark method, but it's not new. We have the method from 60s, Nadler's. Nadler's concept, it was ideal system. Ideal system, Nadler's system. He said that at first we have to prepare ideal situation, ideal product, especially system, situation, product is not necessary, but it is like pyramid. Pyramid Nadler, if you wanted, it's a lot of information about this concept in internet, in papers, in books. So it's about 60 years ago. And at first we create ideal system, and after that we check all features, and the system, the nearest to the ideal is ideal. Yeah, it is like benchmark. The nearest benchmark, it's the best. Yeah, and for example, from this statistical methods, it's easy and easy to count. It's for distance, Mahalanobis distance. It is in Euclides distance. That's why we can count. And in a lot of programs like MATLAB, we can count Mahalanobis distance. When we have the ideal system, we can count the distance to ideal distance, and we can check the feature of our safety, feature of our safety, security. We can measure the most dangerous factors. And last, for example, of course, it's only for example. You can use your own, because you have your own methods. You love some methods, and of course you can use it. For example, Fuzzy inference system. We know the Aristotelic logistic, we have only two base, true and false, 0, 1, 0. But now we don't have the black and white, we have the gray in our world, mathematical world. And we have, especially in computing, you have a lot of methods, this computing with modes, this fuzzy logistic. At first, we have, of course, response, a lot of response about small, large, bad, worse, etc., etc. After that, we have fusification, yes, because we have the collected not counting but uncounting factors. That's why we have interference, diffusification, and we at last have the decrease value. Value from Aristotle's logistic, and with Aristotle's logistic we can false or true, 0, 1. What I broken something?
No. You can just continue. I want to setting something.
Okay, because I broken computer earlier. That's why I asked. In college, we said that the Jonas, you know, from Bible. Yes, and I am the Jonas for computers. And that's why I asked, maybe I broke the.
No. The VBEX participant, they want to see the slide. So I just share the link,
Okay,
share the
okay.
screen, okay?
It's
Sorry,
okay.
everything is okay, perfect.
Perfect. Okay. And with Aristotle's logistic, we can do anything. Yeah. It is only proposition. For the statistical methods, you can use this method with your students for lessons, because I think about, not about me, but I think about this presentation and about the subject which you will be provide, which you will be prepared. And I think about methods which you can use in your lessons during this study. Of course, you can use or not. It's only proposition. The next method, so popular in the risk account, it's preliminary hazard analysis. It is focused on identify the potential hazard and accidental events, and we can use when we have a little information about situation, and we can use it before the future result. Like the first, when we want to say where we have the problem. And for example, we prepare two quality-quantity scale. For example, at first, threats, severity, to hazard. For example, low impact, medium impact, major impact, catastrophic effect. And second, about probability, very rare, possible, probable, very likely even. And when we have this quality quantity scale, like there, yeah, we can take 5 and, for example, 2, yeah. And when we can count, now we can count for each threat, we can count the risk. It's very clear, it's very easy. And that's why when we talk about easy methods, I always think about people who work in crisis offices. Because when we are science, we want to be more, I'll say it, more smart, but we don't have to be more smart. We have to give to our students very easy methods. It is our goal, not to be so smart. Maybe smart, yes, smart, because they have a little money and a lot of goals. I don't know, like in your country, but in my country, difficult situation. Yes, no money, and you have to do. And this easy methods is perfect for students, because they can use it without money. And this method, when I talk with my not friends, colleagues from our crisis management office, it's very so popular because it's easy and cheap. And when I count the risk each threat, I can find it's high, dangerous, or low dangerous. Likelihood and severity. It is so clear. The next method, more complicated, the last, it is FMA, failure mode and effects analysis. It's two analysis, failure modes, this way in which something might fail. And effects analysis is study the consequence of this fails. Each accident is considered as an independent event. Yeah, and we look for the error, potential error of this situation. That's why this method requires analysis individual events separately and then putting together. For example, in flood risk analysis, the scenario list is often incomplete. Why? Because we have a lot of factors. For example, human error. We can't know what people will done. And secondary, during we had the increase maybe due to flood induced pollution, yes, local driftwood blocked bridge, extreme events like some decision makers, and we can't know everything. And on this next slides, I present you example. Each, not each, a lot of methods I check and find special paper about this method. And in this presentation is for example, or the name of a paper where you can read more about this method. And there will be these papers, because I only present name and short description about this method, but you can read more in this publication. I show you one more. And for example, we have the flood. It is the map with flood retention basin, industrial site, urban area, flood wall, yeah, and urban area, and component, each separately, the match cues, consequence, and possible counter master, yeah? And it is typical filter mode and effects analysis in this table. And when we have this table, when we have this map, we can prepare conclusions. We can prepare our activity before it will be. That's why it is typical for quality analysis, but so wide. It's a very short table, but in typical failure method, it is a lot of pages of this analysis of the scenarios. We can prepare a lot of scenarios. The next method, it's when we can't, when we have a little information and we can't do FMA, and we can do fault tree analysis. Fault tree analysis, it is the typical analysis. I have to. It's my bag, my other side. Okay. It is the fifth. When we talk about this method, I think Toyota production system. Why? Because this the first and this. It is from lean management. It is like Ishikawa diagram. It is a form of thinking, like the Ishikawa diagram. And this is a method, fortunately, a nice typical method from Six Sigma. Yes, and it is this Toyota system too, because you have lean production and Six Sigma. Now we said about lean Six Sigma together. It is a new form of management of production. And this first method, this method too, FMA and FTA, it's the method from Toyota production system, but prepare for safety management. We prepare, that's why this picture, 16, because it is together. When you want to know more, you can read special books from Six Sigma too. Not for only risk, but from Six Sigma, it is the method is the same. We prepare the logical tree structure, the model I present you. And we have the two types like blocks, blocks system with two types element, events and logic gates. It is the event symbols which we have. Primary, basic, what we started. Of course, this presentation will be in our Google Drive. You can take it as you have it. It's for us. Secondary failure, transfer in, out, where we have it. It is the event. And second part is the gate symbol. And, or, priority and, exclusive OR gate, or inhibited gate. And when we have it's like the technical, it is logistic, logic system. It is the source of these points, because on this side, you have the very clear and step-by-step describe how to prepare, how to use this method. And that's why this is the link to this source. It's not mine. You have to be ethic, and all sources it's here. A picture is from Pixabay because I can. Okay. And at first, of course, the most important is define the primary failure. What is that? What's that? And next, first level, second. When we for each events the same trees. It's, for example, the tree. Okay, you can see showing your screen. Maybe I can move it. Yes, I can. Filter station failure. And it is the source of this example. In this paper is all at first step, second, failure tree, and all probability counting method, and how you can count probability for the end. Yes, and if you wanted more, it is the source of this failure tree. Okay, and something wrong? No. Okay. I counted the time. Yes, I know. Event tree analysis. When I read some about this method, about popular of this method is only like the previous. This is the method for management, for production, but this method is especially for safety. This method has two forms: pre-accident and post-accident. It is the graphical present. That's why when I'm engineer and I need the picture. Yes, the sprite it's okay, but picture is better. Yes, for me. And that's why when people can see something, we can understand. That's why this method often have the graphical presenting, graphic. And this event tree, it is chronicle development of accident. It is typical method for airplane accidents. This method was FMA. It is the typical method in plane crashes. They want to know why something was. And the procedure, first initiative events, what, where, when. Next, we want to know what if. Next, we prepare our construction and we have two variants, success or failure. Yes, it's like this. You see, it is the presentation for Vesuvio volcano, for eruption of Vesuvio. It is, of course, the source you can describe. And we have the magmatic unrest, non-sector collapse, sector collapse. Yes, non-eruption, eruption. And you know what we have at last, we have all the effect. It is the yes, no, yes, no. It's 0, 1, 0, 1. It's easy to understand and easy to write. Yeah, but more about how to describe, how to prepare, and they said we have it. It is what we have to non-collapse and etc. In this paper. But of course, in this paper is more researches and more information. Of course, Delphi method. Delphi method, I think everybody knows the Delphi method. When I talk about Delphi method, I have two information. Three. At first, the name is from Greek, from Greek colleagues from Greece. That Delphi is like Delphi, you know, then Pythia and etc. I don't know, like in the Pythia, yes? Not like in the Polish it's Pythia, but in Greek is Pythia. Pythia. The same. But when I think about this method from Greece and Pythia method, I have the conclusion that Pythia said, you will be rich if not. And it is a science. You will have or not have. If you want, you will have, or if you, something like that. Okay, maybe it's not science for me, but The second information is that not from Greece, I'm sorry, but it is the method from Philadelphia University, like Delphi method. I think it is the most popular is from Greece, of course, because it's so funny, it's history, and everybody know about Delphi temple from Delphi, of course. But Philadelphia is not popular, but I'm afraid it's more true than from Greece, and that's why Delphi method. It is the method, is the survey, of course, method, and so popular from heuristic method. We know more than 100 heuristic method. So popular, of course, brainstorming. The most popular heuristic method, but Delphi method is method to prepare thinking and prepare the solutions. Where we talk about Delphi method, sorry. Okay, because logo is so important. At first, you have to prepare questionnaire. The first questionnaire. Answers should be anonymous and only seen by moderator. We have, this is us. So beautiful, so color like Asia. And of course, we have the invitation to this research and send the questionnaire. All experts, because this is the experts method. It is so important to take the good experts. And of course, we have a lot of methods to choose the experts. And I don't describe this. Okay, but if you wanted this method, Christoph said about research methodology. We have to think about this experts too. We have the method to choose experts. When we have our experts, we send them our questionnaires, the answers, yeah? And participants see only summary of this questionnaire, not answers. And analysis of results if we have the consensus, yeah, we have the conclusion, synthesis, that's all, but it's impossible. At first, around next, we are rephrasing of questions. We prepare deeper questions. When we have analysis, we prepare the new questionnaire with deeper question about the problems. And round questionnaire number 2, answer without invitation, answers, analysis, and we have consensus, no, okay, the new rephrasing questionnaires and some circle. When we have to stop, I can't say because I don't know. We have to fill 5, 4. We don't have more money sometimes. But of course, it depends on our situation and on our experts too. For me, when I prepare Delphi methods, 4, 5 rounds is enough. We have the results after that. And we have the final conclusion, we have the final solutions special. It is very good method, maybe not so cheap, but now I prepared the question about internet, and so Now it's cheap. Yes, and the last but not least, of course, it is treat mapping. Treat mapping has the different nature. We have the external and internal treats on this map where you prepare, and we have to answer for few questions. What resources does the organization have? Where are they located? What is the likelihood of loss or destruction, etc. And we prepare this map based on safety management circle. At first, the most important is identification of threats. Next, identification of protected resources, identification of hazard reduction, review effective, and one more. It is like circle. It is like Damien circle, like DMA circle, and etc. etc. Like our life circle. Yeah. Born, die, and born, maybe. Not Nirvana, but you know, we are in one circle. Oh, circle. I eat one letter. Maybe during lunch. Okay. For example, this first step. First, it is presented in this paper. The next step is described in this paper. Then prepare the map, treat mapping during COVID-19 in 4 parts. It is delivery, exploitation, installation, action, and on objectives. And what we have it. And the next step, of course, is what we have to do, effective actions, and what we get it after this action, and etc. We are describing. And at the end, I would like to present the not method, but treat maps. Treat maps. It is, I think, it is introduction to the next presentation. In Poland, like in other Europe, we have, of course, directive European Parliament, and we have to prepare the flood risks. It is after big floods in Europe in 90s, and in 205, yes, we have the big floods too. And we prepare these maps for Poland. We prepare, and this map is for all people. I can check my home, and I check the flood, this area. It is for, of course, the better map is for our crisis officers, but the typical in PDF is for citizens. And it's like that. It is my home, my house of my family. No, I live somewhere in other city, but it is my family house. And this is the river. I smile because this river was the border between Silesia and Polish Russian part, because we don't have our country for more than 100 years. And that's why it was 100 years ago. But my grandma said me, Kate, going for bread to Poland. But we are living Poland. It is Silesia, And this is the Warsaw part front, of course. Because we are like in Barcelona. Okay, the same problem. We would like to be autonomy. That's why Silesia and Poland. Okay, nobody can be perfect. Sometimes you can live in Poland. Okay, and it is, we have prepared three types of map. Flood per 10 year, flood per 100 year. And you see my house and safe. Not perfect. But we have the special flood millennium. In July 1997, we have the millennium flood. Older and Danube basin was this flood. Four countries, Poland, Czech Republic, Germany, and Austria. But the greatest losses were in Poland. The flood wave from only 14 hours and start from Czech Republic. And they didn't say about this. They flood and didn't say to us. A lot of people sleep on the Polish side, and we didn't know that flood is coming. In 2-3 hours, these people lose everything, sometimes life. We have more than 50%. I know it's not so much, but in Poland it's a great, of course, died. But a lot of money, of course. And the wave, mostly, wave was 150, 200 kilometers. This wave of this flood. And we was very little time to react. And the crisis warning mechanism did not work. We have the abnormal situation, for example. I'm sorry, 6 minutes. I'm sorry. We have the part of our country, this Silesia too, but more on the east. It is the Opole city. Here we have a lot of German people. Before Second War, they lived there and stayed. And we don't have, from Opole, they call to Warsaw, help us. We are on the water. We have the flood. We have the millennium flood. We have the old city, big city in the water. And they said, okay, but you have to wait. And the chief of the city, chief of Opole, called to Germany and said, help us. We are in the water in 5 hours. Wehrmacht, German army was in Opole. He said, I do anything. Of course, he have to dismiss, but he think only about people. It was the crazy situation, abnormal situation in our country. Total chaos. And we have the problem with communication between Polish and Czech sides because they have the different administration. We have the different administration. We didn't have the solutions, protocols, procedures, anything. Only people without government. We are safe us, ourselves. Okay, and this is my home. You see, here without water. Okay, fine. No, because we have the problem with groundwater because a lot of rain and the groundwater was upper. And this water going to our house, not from river. From river, no, but from groundwater upper to our house. And you know, we think what we can do. And all the wells, because you know, we have the pipe, of course, water, but all the wells help us. We take, of course, pump and this water outside. And these old wells take all water for our house. It's dramatic. Yeah. Sometimes we think, okay, I'm safe. No. We never safety in 100%. Because we didn't know about all features. And at the end, our students, Millennium, Flute, and they have the solutions. They was the sailor between our buildings at university. We have the flute, we have the water, and our students. We are sailor now. It is, of course, with smile. Students can anything. Thank you so much for attention. Any question, or I can, because I'm sorry, 10 minutes I take from Emma. If you have any question, maybe during coffee break, okay? Because I need to eat some time from Emma. No problem. Tak. To było tu Anutko, nie? Tak, to już sobie włączę. Nie workshop, tu dasz. Aha. No i teraz jest jeden, który, wiesz? Zobacz.
I think I can start. Yeah? My name is Anna Bruch. I represent Silesian University of Technology. Today I would like to continue our workshop and I would like to present the training on basic concepts of quantum GIS. I selected several problems and whole presentation from last workshop are available on Google and will be available on a platform. Now whole materials will be available too, and I think these materials would be useful for students, for workshop. You can work with this material, of course. I think it would be better when I can work in this way because I can change a slide easily and I will explain explain a little bit about buffer, because under different kind of risk, it is very useful to work with a different kind of area. When we work with quantum GIS, we can select on the map and create different layers, which can be useful for different kinds of activities, for different kinds of institutions, and different kinds of risk. I think I can sit now because it would be better. Quantum GIS is a software released under the open source license and with access to the source code. It can be developed by both private individuals and commercial companies. This program began to be created in 2002 as a response to the lack of an efficient geoinformation system. And it is open access, very useful, because in this system, it has extensive capabilities for loading, visualization, processing, managing, and saving spatial data. And based on the GDIL libraries, the application supports many data formats, as well as vector and raster. We will work with vector and raster data, and we can use different kinds of layers. In this presentation, we will use, for example, geoprocessing tools. Buffers create buffer around object based on a specified distance or value from the attribute table. And I will show examples of different kinds of data, and we create different kinds of buffers, because buffer is a separate layer, but as well we can use multi-ring buffer, which is very useful plugin for creating fixed wide buffers. And first of all, to start with working with a program, we open Quantum GIS, and first of all, it is necessary to create a new project. And after we create a new project, we have to save our project as, and after that, the very useful thing is properties. We have to open properties for each project in the first step, because it is necessary to use a reference system. And that's why this is very necessary, important information, and we use this reference system because all data and layers should be prepared according the same SRS reference system. And after creating a new project, we can use OpenStreetMap. First of all, we can use web menu and choose OpenStreet service. When it is not available, we have to use menu plugin and install OpenStreetMap. In previous presentation, I present this this slide about installing plugin. And after that, when we open OpenStreetMap, in the main view, we can see whole map. And we scroll to the selected area with which we can work. In this presentation, I have chosen some areas of France, Dijon, and first of all, it is necessary to choose what we can do. For example, we can create a different kind of shape file because we would like to create a buffer for selected area. And for example, for selected feature, we can use point type of a new shapefile layer. And for example, we choose point file, and this is necessary to use encoding type UTF-8 and of course additional dimensions. And this is place when we have to use pseudo reference system. And as you can see on the main menu, this new layers is now activated. As always, you have to analyze what kind of layers are available. Now we open OpenStreetMap. We selected this area and we create new layer. This is a new layer. And after that, we have got the new layer, but without attributes. Now we have to create attributes for this type of shape file. How we can do it? First of all, we have to activate adding a point feature. And as we can see, we have to add selected feature. And after this icon, we can add point feature. And now, when we put ID feature, now this layer is active. Without creating this point, this is layer without attributes. But when we do attributes, we can see selected points. It depends how many points we add to this one layer. I have chosen a few points, and this is only one vector layer. After that, we can work with, as you can see, this is only one layer, includes these several points, and I would like to make buffer under each point. First of all, it is necessary to check the units because when we didn't check coordinated reference system, we can't get different kind of units, and that's why it is necessary to find information about units. How we do this? We open right side menu on this layer, and we can find properties and information. And this is the place when we can check about proper units. I choose meter, and that's why now I can create buffer in these units. To create buffer, we open menu vector and geoprocessing tools. After that, we choose buffer. And in the menu context, we have to be careful about shapefile. I choose the first layer, which I call a point. And of course, we have to choose distance because according to different kind of analysis, we can use different kind of distance. I would like to create buffer, for example, about 500 meters around each point, which is in one layer. And after that, as we can see, when the algorithm starting, we can observe this process. And after algorithm is finished, it is 100%. And according to this algorithm, each point in my layer covers by buffer. Now it is not readable. We can't see our point, and that's why we can change a little bit visibility. And what is the most important? First of all, to change visibility, I create a different kind of buffer, because in first algorithm I create 100 meters. We can see it, and to change the visibility, it is important that we have to change order. In this order, first we see buffering, but after that we see our layer. We have to drop it and put first shapefile layer and after that buffer. And in this way we can see point and the buffer area. And this is a second buffer. This is active, and different kind of points. And of course, we have got one shapefile layer and two buffers, 100 and 500 meters from the center, from the point. And that's why this visibility is better, because we can work on whole layers and buffers. But if we uncheck each layer, we can work with selected layer. This is the first type of a shape line. This is a point. This is a slide presented how we can change visibility, and when we choose buffer, we work now not on point layer, but on buffer layer. We open properties. This is the most necessary to put visibility. From 100, we lower the visibility, and that's why this buffer is less visible. And after that, we can add another kind of shape file layer. We can use line string buffer. For example, we can use line string for creating layer which is necessary for creating, for example, river, roads, etc. And as previous, we prefer creating new shapefile layer. We use geometry type line string, and after that, we have to choose some points for this layer, and we open right menu and put different kind of points for our river, for example. And after creating points, we have to accept this feature, because as previous, we select many points. And after that, we have got, as you can see here, we have got another part of our layer, point, and string, line string layer, which is created like a river. And after that, we would like to choose different kind of buffer, which is accordance over the input layer. We choose a different layer, and of course, we check coordinate system, because we have this units as automatic for the coordinate system, and that's why we choose distance 200 meters, and after that, when algorithm is starting, we can see the buffer according to our river. And as previous, we can change order of these layers. First of all, we have to put layer under buffer, and we can change visibility of this buffer. And now it would be visible. We can change stroke white, because it would be better visible. And after that, it is necessary to change opacity from, for example, 100% to 50%. And now we have got at the same place two layers and different kind of buffer. The last type of layer is a polygon. And at the same way, we use new shape layer and we choose a polygon type and we work as previous. First of all, it is necessary to create a shape of our polygon. We have to activate as well selected points. And after selecting a point, we activate attributes. Without attributes, shape file, it is not useful. We have to activate a point. And after that, we can use as well buffers tool and have to choose input layer properly, of course, because on this one project, we can work with different kinds of layer. As well, we can activate everything, but sometimes we can use selected only layer, and that's why this is important. And I would like to put the distance 100 meters, and we will see how it works. When algorithm is finished, we can see buffer of polygon. We can change our visibility when we activate properties. We use symbol selector, and after that we change opacity. And in this way, we can work with buffer. In practice, this is a very important tool for preparing different kind of activities for different kind of institution. And for example, when some area is connected with some kind of natural hazards, floods, etc., it would be necessary to put some activities in selected area. And in this way, we can access different kind of layer and put on the map and prepare some activities. But of course, this is a first type of selecting different kind of layers and different kind of geometry layers: point, string line, and polygon. But when we would like to add more than one buffer, we can use different kind of tools. We have to use some kind of toolbox. We use menu processing. We use toolbox, and after that, we have to find more complicated tools. For example, in my presentation, I use multi-ring buffer. What does the word mean? That we can create more than one buffer at the same object and in one way, for example, because in this way, previous way, we can use buffer only one. But if we would like to create many buffers, we have to choose processing toolbox buffer, and we have to choose multi-ring buffer. After that, this is another menu of this algorithm. And first of all, it is necessary to choose input layer. And of course, in my example, I choose our previous 3 layers. And the other parameter, it is necessary to choose a number of rings. And for example, I chose 5 rings. And of course, now I have chosen different kind of distance between the rings. And for example, in my presentation is 1 kilometer. And after that, we can see the effects. And as we can see, it is 1 layer. This is important information. As we can see, this is 1 layer for previous tool when we use buffer, but this is multi-ring buffer. This is 1 layer, not 5. This is 1 layer, but 5 rings of the buffer. And that's why it is a very useful algorithm, but works in different way. And after that, of course, we can change visibility. It's important. We can change order about our layers. And after that, we can see object. This is our polygon. And after that, we have got 5 rings, which is 1 kilometer distance. After that, we can find this same tool for, of course, another layer. And we have to activate multi-ring distance, but this is important to choose proper layer, to choose number of rings 3 for the river, and change the distance 0.5 kilometers. And as we can see, the other multi-ring buffer is ready. And as well, for the layer point layer, we can activate multi-ring buffer 3 and input point. And in this way, we can change visibility. For example, when we put a multi-ring buffer, we can automatically change color of each ring. We have to choose properties of each layer, for example, and we have to go to settings, and we have to change each point for categorize, and the table, we have to select the distance, and distance will be automatically from attributes table, and after this classifying, which each ring will be created as a different color, and this classification is in the properties visible. And after that, we can classify each object in the same way. And our map will be used with different kinds of activities. And this is the first method, creating vector layer, give different kind of attributes for each layer. It depends point, it depends string line, and in polygon. But of course, we can choose in different way objects for which we can use a buffer. For example, we can choose, of course, OpenStreetMap. As in previous presentation, we discussed about querying and make queries. Now we can use it as well. We have chosen Kuala Lumpur, and for example, we can see a selected map of selected attributes, and when we would like to query, and what does it means? We have to choose this tool, and we would like to selecting data from the attributes, because OpenStreetMap has got attribute table, and it depends on the area how many attributes there are. We can find it for the, of course, selecting area. In the querying OSM, we can specify our specification of a query. For example, the most necessary, it is type in this place, and as many attributes has got attribute table, that as short or bigger is list for searching object, and that's why these attributes are available for choosing. I would like to choose in this area building and hotel, and for querying it is very necessary choosing Canva extend, and after querying we can work with attribute tables, and we can open attribute tables when new layer is available. This is a query result, and new layer is available. Searching only with a building hotel, and after that we can open the attributes table, and we can find all information about this specific area. I would like to work and, for example, make buffer in a specific hotel. I can filter and search about highest hotel. I would like to choose the highest hotel and make a buffer around the specific building, and that's why we can work with a attribute table, and after that we can specify our filter attribute. We put filter and specify name and choose contains. This is everything what we should do. Specify the filter and choose contains this name, and after that we can find only the selected features, and here we can see how many features is filtered from our attribute table, and after that using this icon here we can show this feature on the map, and after that we can work only with a specified object. And after previous, we have to build a new layer in selected objects. And after that, we click and open objects map and identify results. We can use this icon. This is information about selected objects, and we have see only from the attribute table. We can see whole information collected in attribute table, but only for our selected objects. And as well as previous, we would like to create a new layer and new shapefile layer. Of course, we have to choose a pseudo Mercator coordinate reference system and units meters for building our buffer, because this unit is more popular. In different kind of coordinator system, this unit will be degree. And that's why when we filter our highest building, we can create, for example, a new layer, and after that, we can use menu vector and create a new buffer. I have choose 300-meter buffer around Four Seasons Hotel situated in Kuala Lumpur. And for example, in any case, we can use some kind of this map in different kind of activities, as well as I have chosen a second hotel, and in this same way I have built different kind of buffers around Continental Hotel. We can see everything on this map. And for example, for different kind of activities, different kind of institution, when we have got actions, we can prepare in this way different kind of area, buffer, selected different kind of objects. We have to create a new shapefile layer, add attribute in first way, but in second way, we can use querying method and work with an attributes table. And after that, we can use as well, for example, when we work with different kind of buffer, we can use as well as union on buffer to collect different kind of buffer together in one layer. And that's why I think this subject is so useful. In the same way, we can work with different kind of objects and different kind of areas which we would like to protect, or which we would like to make any actions for many institutions. And now we have got 10 minutes. And this is two ways. But now I would like to present a third ways, because when we would like to work with a different kind of data, more objects or something like that, we can collect data in, for example, from different kind of sources. And that's why this is a simple example, 15 Asia cities. How can we work with data in CSV file? We can do the same exercise using selected data. And for example, as you can see, we have got another file with a data. Now we not create a layer, but we add layer and we add the similar template. This is the most important thing. When we have got data from another file, we choose not create layer, but add layer. And this is the most important. We add layer. We add the similar text layer. And after that, we have to choose our file, and we can see it in a program. During data source manager, we have to choose some kind of other attributes. For example, file name. After that, we have to choose encoding. The most useful encoding type is UTF-8, because this is so important to recognize the text. But in this case, I use decoding Windows 1220. We have to define file format, and very often it is for separate data, it's used semicolon or comma, and this is important. And after that, we can recognize if our data from files are proper. We can see it in this place, and we can define X attribute and Y attribute, and that's why we can control if our data are proper or not. Is proper readable, but geoinformation system. And in this example, we can see the data is proper, and after that, we can see what we can see. These 15 cities situated in one layer. This is one layer with data important from this file. And after that, we would like to see where exactly these Asia cities are situated. And in this problem, we can, of course, open our OpenStreetMap, and after that, we can see, but we can change the color, and of course, we can use right menu, and this is a style of our point, and after use this style, we can easily recognize our data. And when we would like to work with different data collected in other files, we can use as well this file, import the data and find it on the map. And after that, we use geoprocessing tools as a previous example. now this is so important to weigh or importing data. After that, as we have got this layer, and of course for this layer, it means in this layer are 15 places. In my example, it is Asia cities, and it means we are working in one layer but at 15 cities in the same time. And for example, as I said previously, we have to check distance. It is the grid because it is connected with CRS system, coordinate system, and we can do this. And after starting our algorithm, we have got 15 buffer around our cities. And of course, we can work with these cities and with this layer as previous. But I think now everybody can choose the way which is important for different kind of activities. And for example, as well for this data, we can use a multi-ring buffer. We change tools for processing tools. We have to put, with the processing tools, we have to put this, what processing tool we are searching for, we put buffer, and after that we can search multi-ring buffer. And these tools are very useful, and as you can see previously, we can create multi-ring buffer for each attribute connected with this file. And after that as well, it is possible to classify. And after that, we work with this multi-ring buffer, and we open properties of this layer, and we can classify it choosing the necessary attribute. Attribute, it is distance, and we have to classify it. After that, this each ring is changing, and we can work with these tools. And I think on these tools I can finish. If you have got any question, we can discuss, and we can work with anybody who would like to work with this presentation during our week. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Anna. So any question you want to raise? If you have. If not, then we will have a tea break for 30 minutes. Okay. You can enjoy the coffee and snacks at the back of the lab. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They just go outside.
Mira, me está grabando. Entonces, bueno, ya no sé si detecta el cacharro este, no, entonces debe detectar la imagen, ¿no?
Detecta el movimiento. ¿Ves? Como lo vas para allá. Mira, entiendo ahora que yo soy el protagonista. Mira, ¿ves? Me aparto. ¿Es it automático o no?
No, just now I stop here.
Okay, okay. But if you want to, you have to click in the middle.
Okay, so this is automatic.
So now it's following the one who.
It follows this. So I am the. Mira. So now I leave it here.
You focus. If they are 2%, you focus on speaking.
So I can be here talking like this. It's. Whoop. Whoop. Nice. It's cool.
Is also moving the slides.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you can be there moving the slides.
Sure, but then,
Okay.
because I also new to this one.
Okay.
Now I understand what is this thing.
Try. And move around. It will also zoom in and zoom out.
You follow you. If you go further than this camera, you will see.
I put it with a
Each one of these for each one of the students at the classroom, so they always follow you.
with duct tape.
For my daughter.
This is WebEx, yes? This is WebEx. So I already gave you the link in the email. So what is it? Just click that way. Only click. Only click, and then you go here. Click to install. Actually, it's here or not? No, this one only from you in. Only a few dice. Okay.
Oh,
No okej, tylko przypominam 10 minut do prezentacji. A. Aha, dobra. Tak, tak, za 10 minut. No bardzo cię proszę, okej? No,
Sergio, eres una estrella, ¿eh?
Hi guys, Microsoft.
Hello, everyone. Okay, we will continue our next schedule, next session, which is the introduction to seismicity, which is will be presented by Assistant Professor Christoph Stota. All right. So he will be in WebEx online, so we will share. Okay, thank you.
Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hear me? Yes? Okay. Okay. My name is Krzysztof Złota, and I am assistant professor in Silesian Technical University in Gliwice. And today I'd like to show you introduce to seismicity. Okay? I offer a video because my presentation is very important to know me. Okay? Yes. Mhm. Okay. You see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay. Introduce to seismicity. This is only simply information about seismicity. Okay. And now, in this lecture, in this time, I am going to say about geophysics of lithosphere. This is seismology, typical seismology. And this is range. This is earthquakes, observational seismology, seismic waves, and physics of earthquakes. Yes? Next.
Just
And here I have a very question, my question. This is media on the report of major earthquakes and their dramatic effects. But do we know many per year how big and where earthquakes occur? I don't know. And you look, in this tablet, we have a magnitude of quantity of magnitude and number of occurrence. And you look, and 1,003,000 occurs in for magnitude from 2 to 3 scale. Yes. Next quantity of occurrence. This is equals 1,319 for magnitude of from 5 to 6, and the next 6 to 7 magnitude we have only 139 occurrence, and for upper magnitude from 7 to 8 only 15 occurrence, and for magnitude equals 8 we have only one occurrence, but note that increase in magnitude by 1 results in a tenfold decrease in the number of quakes. Look, 1 million only 100,000, next etc. with 10, but for only magnitude equals 8, we have only one occurrence. This is a typical statistic at seismicity. Next, you look. We have a Earth seismicity global, and on this map, this earthquakes. Yes, and you look. This is color, yellow color. This is sorry. Oh, this is depth of shocks. This is equal to from 0 to 17 kilometers, and this is this diagram. This is more earthquakes. Next, dips to 300,000 kilometers. We have a color green. Yes, etc. Color blue. This is maximal depth of occurrence, and quantity of this scale on this. This is quantity of magnitude. Yes, and typical occurrence where is earthquakes in this place. We have this place. This is typical place. Yes, this is typical place for plate. Okay, plate of Earth. Next map. This is map of Europe and earthquakes in Europe. As can be seen, the most tremors are recorded along for 40 parallel. Yes, this is 40 parallel, typical, and on this parallel we have more earthquakes, typical. This is mountain, yes, typical for Europe. And the next map, this is map of Poland, and for Poland, we have earthquakes in this place. This is Monte Sudety, Polish, and Carpathian. This is typical place where we have earthquakes, and these places, connection with platform of this Poland. Yes, this is three platform of Poland, and this is typical places. This is Kaliningrad. This is place where we have interplate earthquakes. Okay, but this is for Poland, and now next information. This is information about source of earthquakes and structure of Earth. This is typical structure of Earth, and here we have a core, yes, of Earth. Next, this is a liquid outer core. Next space, this is mesosphere. Next, we have a asthenosphere, and last part, this is lithosphere, and this is cross section of this Earth, and this is surface, lithosphere, asthenosphere, and mesosphere, and in these places we have occur of earthquakes. Yes, typical. Okay, and next slide, and this is next structure of Earth, and this is tectonic plate theory. Look, we have a core, yes, and this is moving of heat on this connection cell, typical, this and this and this, and here we have a plate, typical plate, 1 second, third, and in these places, when one plate meet with second plate, we have a place to where we have this heat equation here, and we have volcanoes here, mountains, etc., etc. And typical moving of plate theory. This is slide 10. Yes. And this is different view, and this is moving of this heat in this bit. Here we have a typical deformation of surface of Earth. Yes. Here we have a volcanoes. Yes. Typical. This is magma here on the surface, and here we have typical also ocean trench. Yes, because one plate moving down and meeting with second plate in here. And here we have a rising magma moving on surface and created volcanoes. Yes, on the surface, typical things. Yes. Okay. Next information. And here we have a tectonic plate theory. And you look, this is a map of world, yes, map of Earth, and here and here. And you have information about plate. Here we have a Pacific plate, a North American plate, a Nazca plate, a South American plate, African plate, Eurasian plate, big plate, next Indo-Australian plate. On these places, on this connected with one and second plate, we have a typical. This is a place to origin of earthquakes. This is typical information. And you look, we have a North America, South America, and moving this earth in this direction, and put in here this typical the same map. Yes. And next slide theory on this platform, and here we have a plate, one and second, in typical moving on this plate on this thing, moving left and right in this part. This is a very important part for surface source of earthquakes. Second situation. This is plate moving one left, second right, and here we have a typical boundary and trench. Okay, and third situation. This is one and second plate moving in this same direction, and one plate moving down. Oh, sorry. One down, and we have a typical this situation. Yes, this is this situation. This is the situation here. Okay, typical. This is second. This situation. This is we have these places. This is a typical trench. Yes, and this situation. This is the situation here or here. This is situation. Okay. Next. Okay. This is seismic wave. Seismic waves. Earthquakes produce two kinds of waves: P waves and S waves. And P waves, this is primary waves, yes. And this is moving left or right. Okay, this is safe waves. This is this safe. This is moving. This is secondary waves, and this is moving up and down. Okay, this is motion up and down. And we have first and second, and we have a surface of this wave. This look like in this same. Yes. Okay, and seismic waves. When a very powerful earthquake happens, seismic stations around the Earth are able to measure the strength and timing of the waves. This combined with the knowledge of the curved paths of the waves allow us to map the interior of the Earth. Since the sea waves can't travel through liquid. They cannot travel through of outer core, yes? The shadow zones of the P and the shadow zones of the P waves, yes, and S waves of S waves allows us to measure the size of the core of the planet we will as is the density structure of various depths. Okay. And this is typical diagram of seismic station record for P and saves. This is first primary P wave and secondary S wave. This is typical transformation. This is a seismic station record second in these places. This is typical diagram for this. This is 0, yes. And on this place, this is typical seismic station only for P waves records. And this is a very important definition. This is Vandaty Benioff zones, and this is first plate and secondary second plate, and moving this plate in this direction. Here we have as shallow earthquakes, and in this place we have a deep focus earthquakes. Okay, this is very high temperature. You look, this is 100 to 150 degrees Celsius, 300 degrees of Celsius, 400 degrees, etc., 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 1000 degrees of Celsius. And in this place, high temperature and moving of this change of pressure and moving of this plate created secondary deep ocean trench in these places. On these places, created volcanoes. For example, here we have a typical volcanic arc on this in this direction. This Moho and this moving in this direction, and we have a typical volcanic arc. On this second map, this is only for volcanoes arc of these places, and this first plate direction is this direction is going in this direction. Second plate, and we have a month and cut in this direction, and we have typical volcano arc. Here we have oceanic crust. Here we have a typical trench, and here, of course, ocean, yes, and typical for standard the polygons. Next thesis, this is interplate earthquakes, because not only on this surface of this plate typical earthquake, but earthquakes can origin to interplate, yes. And we have typical, for example, we have a plate for ASEAN, yes, and we have a moving of this plate, Indian plate moving in speed of moving about 40 millimeters per year. This plate moving about 15, 19 millimeters per year. Here moving is less, yes, and here moving on no direction, north direction, but east direction. This is for to South China. This is the speed of this plate. This is about 10 millimeters per year. And these places we have a typical interplate earthquakes and very dangerous situation for remote, yes, and safety of health. And next, this is induction seismicity. This is typical situation for or connected for mining industry. This is a diagram for Polish situation. And for this data, this is a year of induction, this is occur of events of tremors, yes. And here we have a quantity of these tremors and typical year. This in Poland, we have a typical year 1919. This is typical more 15,000 events, yes, and typical diagram for this induced. This is a typical induced seismicity, and this diagram, this is tremors for this is secondary tremors for this induced seismicity. Okay. In Poland, tremors induced by mining exploitation, yes, of course. And we have two areas. First area, this is Legnica Głogów, copper belt in here, in this place. And second areas for induced shocks, includes tremors, includes seismicity. This is Upper Silesian coal basin in these places. And you look, this is typical. But natural areas for tremors, this is this area, this is Sudety mountain and Carpathian mountain in these places. But these places, this is typical induced seismicity for mining exploitation. This is exploitation of copper mine, and this place is exploitation of hard coal. Okay. And volcanoes, information about volcanoes. Volcanoes, this is connected with Bandati Before zones, or no, but we have for the magma, yes, and magma moving on the surface, typical. This is a cross section of rock, yes, but we put only created of volcan, yes, and we have a very dangerous situation because first side we have eruption cloud. This is gases and the dust for moving to atmosphere. Yes, for example, ash, acid, etc., etc. Next, this is tremors typical. Next, lava flow, and destroy it on this surface, and all different dangerous situation. Yes. Okay, and okay. Volcanoes produce a wide variety of natural hazards, including tremors, gas hazard. Okay, and an explosive eruption blast, solid and molten rock fragments, this is tephra, and volcanic gases into the air with tremendous force. The largest gross fragments, for example, is, yes, usually fell back to ground with 3, 4, 5 kilometers, and the vent on the down, yes. Small fragments, less about 0.1 inch across, of organic glass, minerals, and rock rise high into the air, forming a huge billowing eruption column, etc. Okay, and next pieces, this is undersea shocks and tsunamis. This is very dangerous. Okay, and okay, sorry. This is picture and first place. The tsunami formed when the Berkeley precipitation shifted the summit with several meters, dispersing hundreds of kilometers of the sea on this place. This is first plate and second plate, moving this way. Next, the larger waves began ripping across the ocean away from the earthquake's epicenter. But in deep water, the tsunami moved speeds of up to 8 kilometers per hour, moving in this direction. This is speed, yes. When it approached shallower coastal areas, it slowed down but increased in height. And this is typical. And for this is case, typical case for here we have a Chile. We have a typical this is earthquake from this Chile, and this wave, this is tsunami moving this direction, and for this Asia, this is here. This is volume. This is time of in the hours, the time moving of this wave tsunamis in this direction, and 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours in this direction, moving this tsunami. And this is typical information. This is Chile, we have this situation, yes. Next, created shocks, created earthquakes, tsunami moving into this direction and destroyed part of Asia in these places. Oczywiście in 1916 years, yes. And finished of this lecture, this is simply film, simply video for which say about how created of this tsunamis. Okay, sorry, I start. Okay. Thank you very much. I finished of this lecture, yes. Okay, this is a simple lecture, but no, very hard. And maybe last thing this is say about maximal about this physics of this problem of earthquakes of the seismic induced or seismicity. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Sorry, I don't hear you because you have off the microphone. Any question for me? Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, video. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for the interesting presentations. For the audience, do you have any questions? Yeah. Maybe I think you have to come here.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Prof? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Yes.
Can I ask if you can also simulate urban centers and the effects of these very big structures in the propagation of seismic waves? Is there a way for us to simulate urban centers, big urban centers? And the effect of these urban centers or structures in the propagation of the wind. Thank you. Seismic waves.
Sorry, this is connection not very good, but your voice is. I have two or three voices. Yes, no one. Maybe chat. Okay, maybe for this chat, and I understand of your question and answer for you.
The model.
Sorry. Oh. Model. Here, model symulacyjny, tak, dla sensor. I don't know, because in Poland we have we don't have a typical earthquakes and tsunamis and different situations, because we have only earthquakes from induced seismicity on the connection with mining industry. And sorry, this is not my profession. This is typical information about model to simulate urban center. Sorry. On this today, I this question. This is good question, not for me, but to, for example, Japan sciences. Yes, because sorry.
maybe I can after some information because the system in Poland is like the dark mind and dark mind. Yes, and we try to describe the behavior of rocks, rock mass, building and structure under seismicity made underground mine, right? Acceleration of rock masses, influence on building, etc. Yes, in Poland, seismicity and seismic activity is connected only with underground mining. We have mines. We explore coal at 1,200 meters, and the influence of this exploitation on behavior and on structure is high. Yes, every time when we want to build new buildings, new structure, first we have some information and prediction of acceleration of ground and rock masses near surface. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Very much.
Yeah, any other question?
Because there was an earthquake that happened in the Philippines, and it's in the effect in Baguio was very, very strong. The, the intensity was strong compared to those near the epicenter of the earthquake. So does it mean that this spirit pressure now increases effect of this seismicity on areas like you have tall buildings, so which can be like the basis of urban planning, so something like that. So does it explain that concept explain why Baguio felt intensity, high intensity, even though it's further away from the how do you call that, the epicenter. Yes.
But we are speaking about side effects. Side effects.
Yes, yes.
Is that sedimentary with shallow sediment?
There's, I'm not really familiar with the systology of Baguio, but relative to the other areas, it's more highly urbanized, and we really felt it. It's very strong. So there are areas that are near quite rural, but the intensity that we felt is something like more. For us, it's seven. It's very strong. It will shoot us up.
Then with this intensity maps, plus a layer of demographic or buildings areas, Sergio is going to produce, you are going to produce vulnerability or susceptibility maps, and how from the expected intensity you expect to your building or your structure to be created. So there is that effect. So it's a two, let's say, step procedure, which hopefully will begin the small ones tomorrow, and Sergio is going to give the complete.
But it's interesting what he's saying because as far as we have understood, single happened is the intensity close to the epicenter were lower than in the city which is very far away. So that means that the side effects in the city were very important, and that can be due to the sediments because you have a very low shear weight velocity,
which has amplified the ground motion, or because you have very high topographic effects, but it's probably because of the sediments, I would say.
There are some which in Baguio that are sandstone, line.
Yeah.
What?
Parameters that we discussed in previous meetings, the macrozonation studies to identify your know your subject base, so you know what to expect. So as you see, all the elements of the fund start together.
It's very dangerous because in Baguio there's something called things. So that can affect this. Okay, so you really need to come up with that. They don't even have it in their plans.
Oh.
That's one problem. They don't have in their ERR plans. They really need to move faster because Baguio is a very big part of this real estate development and the one that happened with the Abraham Creek was with the
Topic that Nathan raised that can start in Friday if we, let's say, it's all design some procedure for the master plan, how to build the risk plan, how to build the.
Maybe it can be because as the next educational visit will be in. What we can do is that we can try to prepare a graphical exercise in that city.
From top down.
To that.
All the procedures. Yeah, this is a very good idea.
Because we have enough time,
Yes.
so we can work on the shape map.
Take much measurements,
I can prepare some input file for Selena. We can run the whole process there.
I call them to CR, the disaster office, and they often because they don't have system. That's their problem. I call them about that. You know,
what's your proposal?
Yeah. I mentioned that.
Top-down approach from the measurement or identification of the subsurface, compile the data in order to produce value of data to asking to Selena software, and this is going to produce you the final product that will help you to prepare the reports and all the plans that you need.
Last time I showed example of Polish a big safety accident after post-mining roads with acceleration and velocity and zones or concentration of this seismic activity. Yes.
There are also
Polish.
in small pocket mining activities and large scale. Corporate mining activities are during the 1990s, I think that was so devastating. One, it has stopped its operation because of the large portal that was installed. Very fast. Thank you. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, any other questions regarding to the earthquake? Yeah, because Malaysia, we don't have much earthquake. Yeah, no, we don't have. We have earthquake, but very minor, very only 1 or 2 cases. So that's why we don't know what to ask. Yeah, if flood, yeah, we have a lot of questions. Okay, so I think if nothing more, so I think that's all today, right? So, and we have also some souvenir for you all. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, it's okay. Oh.
Okay, so now
Yes.
for those who staying at the new hotel and also the luxury, so yeah, that night and also Eastern Hotel. So maybe now you can keep your things up and you can clean up and keep your things. In the hotel. I tak ada kereta ah.
Yang tak ada lah. Tapi nombor band.
Nak tahu bawa bantu.
Okay, those who are staying at Eastern, wait already. To hotel, wait for a while. Eastern Hotel, Eastern Hotel.